6:29 now. President Biden is not expected to attend the Prime Minister's flagship artificial intelligence conference this autumn in what's being branded an utter embarrassment for Mr Sunak.
Yeah, I mean, other people are going. This is despite the Prime Minister hailing the so-called special relationship and making AI the centrepiece of his visit when he visited the White House in June.
So is it all going to be a flop before it starts? Andrew Eborn is, well, technology lawyer doesn't quite do it. He knows his stuff when it comes to all of this.
Futurist.
Futurologist,
yeah.
Havenology everywhere. Futurist is always good. And you're right, every single day there's some great stories about AI, and you get that sort of negative spin, don't you?
Tomorrow... Does it matter that Biden...
No, it doesn't matter at all. Tomorrow is the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King and that great speech, I Had a Dream.
Tomorrow is?
It is, 60th anniversary. Well, I have a dream that we celebrate what the UK has achieved in AI. We punch way above our weight. We are world leaders. Basically, Google DeepMind was created here. We have about, 50,000...
What's Google DeepMind?
So they do all this sort of chat and GPT, you've got AI and so on and so forth. So we are the pioneers in this space.
So why are we so frightened of it?
Well, we should be frightened. There are risks involved. And Stephen Hawking, he said it's our greatest human achievement, but also the existential threat. So it's quite appropriate that we have it at Bletchley Park, because the home of where they cracked the Enigma code, the home of Alan Turing, that brilliant mind who first sort of devised the test for AI to say, hang about, this is how you can work out if you're talking to a computer. Interestingly, you've now got CAPTCHA, as you know. Basically, that's the little thing when you say if you're a computer or not.
Yeah.
You have to work out, pick out the bus stops, and which is really tricky. What I love is that this week they did a research that AI is better at doing CAPTCHA than humans are, so it defeats that sort of object.
I find that very annoying, that CAPTCHA thing.
It is annoying, and we're not very good at it. About 50% of the time we fail, but 85% AI gets it right, so it defeats the object.
Oh, now, so what have we seen in AI? That you talk about the excitement. A lot of us in the papers, it's all about, it's all doom and gloom. So what is it about AI which is worth pursuing, which makes us excited?
Let me give you, as I say, every single day is a great story. One particularly lovely story which we had this week is somebody called Anne, who's been paralysed for 18 years. And the only way she's been able to communicate beforehand is using her eyes, basically, to pick out words, which is a really long process. What they've done now, using AI, is to use her voice. They can synthesise it. They've created an avatar which looks like her. It can do, and basically map the brain waves directly from the brain, so they can get speeches, and it makes it in virtually real time. They can use facial expressions as well, because that part of the brain is really, really powerful. So somebody who is in a world of silence all of a sudden has the power through AI to do that. Also this week...
Hold on, through brainwaves?
Yes, basically, it's brainwaves. What they do, they basically connect to... You're going to love this. It connects to that part of the brain where you can normally... where speech would normally happen. It can and also facial expressions. And what they do, they connect directly to that in an OK way. And what then happens, it can pick up those brainwaves.
But I'd be really worried about that. I mean, we're all sitting here thinking, when I'm speaking,
yes,
but I'm probably thinking other things as well.
I can tell what you're thinking, Anne.
I might be thinking things I really wouldn't want you to know.
Oh, and it's going to get worse than that. It's going to be the best lie detector ever. We're going to be able to read your dreams in your night and to transcribe those as well. Great powers as well. I mean, also this week, I'm talking about another advance about Parkinson's. My good friends at Moorfields have basically said they can predict maybe 7 years earlier the likelihood that you might get Parkinson's, because they can do monitoring of the eyes. I've had this test, very, very simple, not very obtrusive sort of test, and they can turn around and say, well, hang on, we can predict these neurological advances.
So the longer you've got before anything starts, the more time they've got to...
Prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
And every single day there are great stories.
That has to be true of dementia as well.
It is true of dementia, and cancers and so on and so forth. We will, the greatest achievements that we can do, we're going to solve diseases, we're going to basically harness all these sort of tremendous opportunities. What we need to look at are the positive stories. People should be scared, and we should make sure that things like hallucinations, where it makes it up, basically, you get that sort of side. And we don't want it to be completely automated, because that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's not the fear of the machines, it's the fear of what humans might do with those machines. And that's what we need to regulate. So all praise to Rishi. Bletchley Park, we should celebrate that.
I mean,
and work
if there's
on that
one
principle.
reason President Biden should come, it's just so he can see Bletchley.
Oh, I didn't love it, isn't it? And it's not
Yeah.
far, it's just an hour from London,
Yeah.
Milton Keynes.
Wonderful.
And all praises say to Alan Turing, who back of a £50 note. You work on that sort of basis. I love it. Let's focus on the good.
The only £50 note I've seen, the new ones, it was one of yours.
Go on, you can have... I could do that. We work on that basis, because it is always about sort of Alan Turing. No, we've got loads of these. That's what happens.
You better...
There you go. Alan Turing on the back of a £50 note. You can have that. We'll put it towards our lunch. We can celebrate in style.
Where's camera
Wonderful.
2?
That is brilliant.
There you have a look at that. There's Alan Turing.
And we should, whose differently wired brain, we should now celebrate, because he went through hell
Yes, he
whilst he was alive.
He did,
and I think the fact that we now recognise him on our major currency before that disappears altogether as well is tremendous.
Yeah.
And we should, when we remember November the 1st and November the 2nd, that's when we're going to have this AI summit, we want to make sure that we're front and centre of this. The UK should be championing this, not looking for negative stories.
No.
And I think that's the way to do it. And all praise to him.
You're going to be backing our Don't Kill Cash campaign then, Andrew.
But I absolutely.
Just very, very, very briefly, have you ever written a nasty resignation letter?
Well, I would get AI to do it, because I reckon it would come up with the best turn of phrase ever. And it wouldn't take 3 pages to do it either.
No, it's a very fair point. Andrew, good to see you.
Good to see you
Thank you very
both.
much indeed. Sarah says, I was asked several times to do an exit interview, which I declined. HR came to see me to find out why I declined that interview. My reply was, you haven't listened to me for 8 years. Why would you listen to me now?
Very good point. Yeah.
Very good.
She says exit interviews are another box-ticking exercise in a world gone mad. I think that's what it sounds like to me as well. And Gary says, morning Gary, always best not to slate your employer, as you will need a recommendation letter or a reference letter for your next employer.
Yes, that's a very fair point.
Well, Rishi Sunak won't be writing up. Oh, yeah.
Printed this morning.
Very pretty, and it's lovely.
Isn't it pretty?
It's the Queen on the other side as well.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth, that is.
Ooh, very tempted not to let go of this ever. Coming up, we've got all the stories making the headlines in the papers. This is Breakfast.